Homeowner attacked just feet from his front door by a man with a machete. Investigators now calling it a hate crime, saying the suspect is a member of an extremist group. CBS 17's Amy Cutler has the latest from Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office.
Investigators say the victim's wife jumped into action as her husband was being attacked, grabbing a gun and firing it at the suspect. Tonight, that suspect, Carlos Washington, remains behind bars, deputies calling it a hate crime. This is 36-year-old Carlos Washington, the man investigators say is behind the vicious attack. This is a machete. Perhaps more terrifying, deputies tell me Washington didn't know the victim. It was random. It happened Friday around 9 a.m. on Car Farm Road in Edgecombe County.
It was kind of scary.
The couple involved, too shaken up to speak. Their neighbors tell me they're taking precautions. One of them even meeting us at the door with a shotgun.
Everybody know one another.
Deputies say Washington is a black Hebrew Israelite. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there are many sects, but some are considered extremists and are outspoken anti-Semites and racists. They're unrelated to the Jewish faith. Authorities say 2 people associated with that group were behind the 2019 attack of a kosher market in Jersey City, New Jersey. Investigators say Washington lives in Tarboro and was not known to them. Fortunately, the victim suffered only minor injuries and is now at home recovering. Washington is charged with attempted first-degree murder, and deputies tell me other charges are likely. In Tarboro, Amy Cutler, CBS 7.
All right, Shalom. Call Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors be to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to the men in which I learned this truth from. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakatham to the hopefully elect. And before I get on with this video, I just want to put this disclaimer that I'm not an official member of Great Millstone, but I do learn and study under the GMS doctrine, and Spirit saw me to do these videos to hopefully feed and edify the flock of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. But nevertheless, just back with another quick video. I saw the lesson that the elder Anat out of I believe that's South Carolina. He did a brief lesson dealing with this incident, dealing with this, or what appears to be a Jake. Appeared to attack some, supposedly, attacked a family, attacked a man with a machete, and they're calling it a hate crime. But nevertheless, whether it's staged or whether it's real or whatever the case may be, nevertheless, knowing and understanding that persecution is set to take place against the saints. All right, because like when you read in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, all right, you can start at the 68th verse, reading on down. It talks about the insurrection towards those that fear the Lord. All right, being that the saints being the biggest threat to Esau, Edom's New World Order. All right. And this is why, it's a part of their plans to come after the saints. All right. So, again, knowing and understanding, this is why they've been, little by little, and, it's only going to intensify eventually, but the demonization of the Hebrew Israelites. All right. Because like I said, they're linking this, what appeared to be a Jake, like I said, whether it's staged or not. One way or the other, all right, there is an agenda to demonize the Hebrew Israelites. Because like I was saying, they're linking this guy. They say he's part of an extremist group, which that's one of those things to it's like a trigger word. All right. And they also say that he's a part of the black Hebrew Israelites, right? Which Esau uses these things to pretty much put fear into people, because for one, we don't call ourselves, or at least we shouldn't be calling ourselves black. All right, because Esau, they associate black with negativity and voidness and emptiness. All right, and secondly, we're not black. All right, black is a color. All right, it's not a nationality. So again, we're not black. We don't associate ourselves with being black. All right, um, but nevertheless, all right, and also because they also link this, um, they trying to tie it into that that incident that took place back in 2019 with the Amalekites. All right, those fake Jews. All right, the Jake attacking those fake Jews. All right, because again, more so they're again, they're trying to build their propaganda up, build their case up to come against the saints. Because here it is, they're now they more so, or they've been linking or trying to link so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians to this COVID disease. All right, because again, pretty soon they're going to label us the face of domestic terrorism, just in general. All right, but again, these are things to expect. So I feel that I've rambled enough. Go ahead and get into a few precepts that I got saved up. St. John's chapter 15, starting at verse 18, it says, "If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you." Yeah, because you know, because one thing I talk to people a lot. Here it is, Yahweh Shai. He's done nothing but miracles. All right. Um, pretty much done nothing but good things. You walked a perfect life. During his time under the Roman Empire. And yet they hated him so much. All right, and you gotta ask yourself, why is that? It's because of the doctrine. All right, it's just because of the doctrine that was spoken, and us or anyone that preaches the same doctrine. All right, you should expect to get the same results. All right, because for one thing, it's not about us, and it's not our doctrine, and it's not about us. We're just vessels used to preach this message. All right. So again, we, this is why, like I said, it's not about us whatsoever. All right. So this is why, again, our Lord told us, um, it hated the Lord before before they hated us. All right. And ultimately, if you hate Yahweh Shai, you hate the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. All right. So reading on verse 19, it says, "If ye were of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of this world, because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you." And that's something I often always mention. I always make the statement, if everyone loves you, you're not doing something right. All right. And that's something, throughout time, with experience, all right, you come to find out, people, man, when you teach this doctrine, man, people look at you different. People look at you more with the, um, you know, like a negative mindset. All right. Once you teach this thing long enough, man, people would call you crazy, conspiracy theorist, a nut job. But again, these are things to expect. All right. Reading on, it says, "Remember the word that I said unto you: the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also." And why is that? Because again, ultimately, at the end of the day, this is not our doctrine, but nevertheless, we're just vessels called to, you know, preach this doctrine. All right, but again, knowing and seeing the hell and tribulation and the persecution that our big brother Yahweh Shai, what he went through. All right, because the point was here in verse 20. All right, when it says the servant is not greater than his Lord. So again, just look at all these examples. But more so focusing more on Yahweh Shai, because he's the greatest example. But nevertheless, you can look at all the examples. With the apostles, disciples, the prophets. What they've all went through throughout their times. All right, persecution and hatred. All right. um, Go to Lamentations, and again, this is just a part of the thing that we gotta. This is a part of the straight way, or the straight way. Each and every one of us, we have to deal with in our walk. Lamentations 5 and starting at verse 1, it says, "Remember, O Yahweh, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us." So basically, all right, afflictions, just, basically, asking the Lord, man, to look down upon us, man. Look at all the hell, the afflictions that we got to go through, man, that we've been dealing with, you know, in our lifetime. Asking the Lord to remember us, you know. The point in verse 5, it says, "Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest." Yeah, man, because, being in this society, in this captivity, man, it's like it's one thing after another, but nevertheless, dealing with the persecution, all right, again, because it's a part of the, the straight weight that we have to deal with in this walk, all right, because, very soon, Esau, he's gonna, because like I said, man, this is gonna, dealing with the persecution, man, it's only going to intensify, all right, and eventually, man, people are gonna get, it's gonna get to a point, man, you're gonna have people hunting for the prophets, all right, the men of the Lord, all right, people are gonna be seeking their lives, all right, certain other men of the Lord, man, they're gonna be on a run, being pilgrims. There's gonna be bounties out on them. All right, it's all part of that persecution. And again, this is what Esau's building up, his propaganda. He's been building up his propaganda. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't checked this in a while, concerning the quote-unquote black Hebrew Israelites. All right, which again, we're not black, but I believe the Hebrew Israelites are listed on the I forgot what it's called, but basically the list, the Sovereign Poverty Center, or something like that. Where basically, they got a group. They list groups. Damn, I forgot what it's called, but basically it's like, up there with terrorism, like KKK. All right, the Hebrew Israelites are, they're right on, they're right on that list. All right, I believe it's called the Southern Poverty Laws, or the Southern Poverty Center, something like that, something along those lines, or which basically, again, just shedding negative light on the Hebrew Israelites, because like I said, eventually we're gonna be public enemy number one, eventually. All right, and this is where all roads lead to a persecution of the saints. Got a few more precepts. Let's see where I can start. Acts chapter 8, starting at verse 1, it says, "And Saul was consenting unto his death." Now, this was before, well, actually, this was Paul before he was converted. All right, his name was Saul, but well, we read on. It says, "And at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles." All right, but this is, read verse 2, says, "And devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentation over him." So yeah, because when you read the previous chapter, all right, concerning the stoning of Stephen, all right, Stephen being a martyr for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, and at this time, like I read here in this verse, the persecution against the saints, all right, It says the persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right. But nevertheless, all right, the time is going to come where the persecution against the saints, man, is going to come heavy. And for the most part, everyone's going to be after everyone's going to be coming after the heads of the men of the Lord. All right. So again, this is something to one of those things to prepare yourself and get yourself put yourself in that mental state. People might be coming after you. You got a lot of these Israelite camps. They because the scriptures talk about moving with wisdom. Being wise as serpents. Because you got a lot. I say that because you got a lot of Hebrew Israelites. They especially these groups that teach the law, the law, the law. You got to keep the laws. You got to wear your fringes and things of that nature. Pretty much making yourself walking targets. Again, because that's not, that's not using wisdom, right? Because again, you're making yourself walking targets. All right, you don't want to make it obvious that what you teach and what you preach and things of that nature. The scriptures also talk about, pretty much being circumspect and being discernful, who's worthy to pretty much being taught the truth. Because not everyone's, not everyone's worthy of being taught this, being taught the truth. All right, and again, a lot of times, there's the spirit, it'll reveal that, but again, nonetheless, and you don't want to make yourself a walking target, walking around with a couple of shield of David chains and pendants on, which that's according to my understanding, that's off. All right, that has nothing to do with the Hebrew Israelite thing. All right, but basically, again, nevertheless, making yourself walking targets. Wearing fringes at work, and just going to the grocery store, you got your fringes on. All right, again, just making yourself walking targets, because again, the time is going to come where people are going to come after the Hebrew Israelites. All right, it's like I read, the servant is not greater than his master. If Yahushua got yoked up, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Yahushua got yoked up, all right, locked up, beat, scourged, right? St. John's 19, starting in verse 1, it says, Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him. And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe. All right, when you read on down, all right, they it goes into how they mocked Yahushua. All right, but nevertheless, they beat him, spit at him. All right, I'm sure Yahushua, man, his body was unrecognizable. But nevertheless, man, again, if these things happen to our Lord, we can expect the same thing, because we know as well that soon they're going to be locking people up, throwing people in these concentration camps, and some of the men of the Lord are going to they're going to get caught up in in this in these things. All right, it's about to get real uncomfortable, and these things have to be taught, because again, you got a lot of Israelite camps. They teach contrary to this. They teach pretty much, they bring the Christian doctrine. They try to mix it in with the truth. When I say that, I mean like the rapture doctrine. All right, so a lot of these Israelite camps, they teach that there's going to be pretty much a rapture. They teach that there's not going to be Jacob's trouble, right? They teach that these things are going to take place. All right, which that being, and that's that's another thing in itself, all right? Because a lot of these camps, these groups, man, the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah, man, is going to start exposing these different leaders and stuff, all right? Because you got a lot of these leaders, teaching to telling the congregation to get vaccinated, and that the mark of the beast is not the chip. All right, but again, that's another thing. But nevertheless, man, these are things to suspect and to be well aware of. All right, get this. In 2 Timothy 3:1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." Yeah, because like I said, things are gonna start getting real uncomfortable. All right. Let me just read on. It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers," which is the point that I want to get. All right, those false accusers, because again, using Yahushua as the example. All right, they lied on him. All right, bearing false witness. All right, and that's what's going to happen to the saints. That's what's going to happen to us. People are going to be lying on us. All right, which goes back to say, why I said, making yourself like walking targets. Everyone's not worthy of being taught, because you teaching everyone, pretty much trying to force the truth down someone's throat that could be used against you, because the same people, they might be the same ones that give you up, because it's prophesied, our own mothers going to be turning us in, our brothers, our fathers, our children, our wives, certain of our own family, man, just like Yahweh Shai. All right, it was his own that did him dirty. It was his own people that turned him in and gave him up, and that's what's going to be happening with us. All right, it's going to be our own people, giving us up and turning us in. All right, your great auntie, your dear aunt. All right, she might have one of the alphabet groups show up at her home, and asking questions about you, and hey, she might give you up. Yeah, my nephew, he's one of those. He talked about one of those Hebrew Israelites. Oh yeah, my nephew, he's part of one of those groups. You know, stuff like that's going to be taking place. But nevertheless, the false accusations. All right, people are going to be lying on us. All right, they're going to because they got. When I brought this up before, they've got technology to where they might have somebody that's robbing a bank, and they might, because the technology is so advanced. All right, they can put it to where they take your face and plaster it on the individual that was robbing the bank, made it seem like you were robbing a bank. So you see, stuff like that's going to be taking place. They got stuff out there like the Blue Beam Project and things like that. All right, stuff like that's going to be happening. It's going to be taking place. Bearing false witness, false accusations. These are things that we all can expect. All right, and I was going to get this, but I'm not going to read it all. Got to get ready to hit the road in a minute. Because you can just look at all the examples of old, like the apostles, the disciples. Like when you read the verse Acts 23. All right, I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna start at verse 12. It says that when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. But basically, when you read on down, all right, these, like I read in verse 12, all right, these guys banded together. They made a vow saying that they pretty much went on a hunger strike until they got rid of the Apostle Paul. All right, they like I said, you read on down, they pretty much banded together on how they can bear false witness against the Apostle Paul. All right, and it didn't work, but nevertheless, just to show that these things are going to be happening. People are going to be coming together. They're going to be devising schemes on creating false scenarios, and again, just false accusations against the saints. All because we are coming in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All because of this truth, this ministry, which again, a lot of times our apostles, man, especially Apostle Gabar, they often talk about how guys get into this thing that they're really not aware of what they're getting into, because this is not going to be, and it's not supposed to be a cakewalk, a walk in the park. All right, get this real quick. Again, concerning the apostles, Acts 5 and starting at verse 40, it says, "And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahweh Shai, and let them go." All right, so the apostles, man, they got beat for preaching the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and again, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to take place with the saints. All right, They're gonna try their best to, convince us to denounce Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, because there's power. Using the names of Yahweh or Yahushai, man, there's power in that. And they're gonna try to do everything in their power to, um, stop us from, preaching this gospel in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, but when you read on, it says, and they departed from the presence of the council rejoicing. So you see, after the apostles got beat, they didn't, curse the Most High, like Job, his wife told him to curse the Most High and die. The apostles got beat, and they praised, they gave glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because again, knowing and understanding what we're a part of, man, and what's to come with it. All right, because during that time, man, you're gonna have a lot of people, man. I'm talking about in the truth. All right. Once that heat comes, all right, they're not gonna be able to handle it. And this is why we you should be praying that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gives us the strength, like the men before us, those that were beat, those that were martyred for this truth. All right, because it's gonna get bad out here, man. All right, but nevertheless, reading on, it says, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. So you see, because in this society we're counted as fools. All right, like I said, when you're teaching this thing long enough, man, people start looking at you crazy. All right, they start looking at you funny. People talk behind your back. You looked at as foolish in this society. For teaching and preaching this doctrine. All right, but nevertheless, this is a part of it, man. And this is why we just gotta suck it up and deal with it. All right. Verse 42 says, and daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So again, being all the hell and all the afflictions, all right, still gotta teach and preach in the name and the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Knowing and understanding the reward that's to come after all this. We just gotta suffer a little longer, and we get through the persecution and get through whatever it is that we gotta deal with in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and Lord's will we get that reward. So persecutions, man, it's a thing to come, right, in the very near future, and it's something that you definitely want to prepare yourself for, get your mind ready to deal with. So with that, I'm going to give all credit to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honors to the apostles and those who great millstone. And until next time, I say shalom.